Hey adventurers, what are the top tricks and super secrets every great geocacher uses to find those super hard to find caches? Watch and learn as we explore 5 of the most amazing secrets you need to know to become an expert geocacher. In this video, I've recruited some of my geocaching friends to help you understand the 5 best tips you need to know in order to find those tricky hides. So, with no further ado, let's get into how to find the hard geocaches. So adventurers, tip number 1 is from our friends Komikino and the Kid.
Hey Jay, thanks for asking me to help your viewers figure out how to use the title, description, and hint to find some of those more difficult geocache hides. My name is Rich. You might know me as Komikino from Geocaching with Komikino and the Kid here on YouTube. Yeah, tricky caches can use all 3 of those to help you find them. It's really interesting how they can use the title, the description, and of course, even the hint to help you find that difficult cache hide. My cache hide here, Balloon Girls Under the Desk, is a traditional cache hide. It's a nano. And the title, straight off the bat, tells you pretty much what you need to look for or where you need to look. Under the desk. There's no desk here. Just a picnic table. And if you read the description, I give a nice little story going into how and why this cache was named. The description here goes through the story about it. I have my updates explaining everything that I've done to it and how many times I've had to come out to replace it and hide it. But I even give references here to the character in the game, Five Nights at Freddy's, Balloon Girl, that would come out and attack you from under the desk. I say in this hint, there are 2 picnic tables here. Look for the wheelchair accessible picnic table and look under the wheelchair side of the table for a metal bar to find this mini cache. I pretty much straight up tell you right there what to do. And somebody DNF'd it today because they couldn't find it. And guess what, folks? It's still here. So even with the title, the description, and a hint, it can still be difficult for some people to find. But even though the hints are there to help you out, sometimes, you know what, kid? They can be a little bit tricky and maybe also might be a little bit misleading. For example, at this cache location here, the hint said stems and leaves. And you think it's going to be right there in the plant, right? So you searched over in the plant and you know what? The cache wasn't there. But where was the cache, kid?
Right under this rock.
Right under the rock, and there's the cache. There's the cache right there. So, yes, the hints can be helpful, but don't rely on them 100%. So, if you're out at a location and the cache is really difficult and you can't find it, look at the title. Is there anything that stands out in that? Look in the description. Are they saying anything that might leave you stumped or between a rock and a hard place? Read between the lines. Read what they're saying and think a little bit deeper on it. And then, of course, go for the hint. Hopefully you use the hint for last and not the first thing you look at like what I do, but I hope this helps you find some of those more difficult cache hides. Back to you, Jay.
That was awesome. So thanks very much to Komikino and the Kid for tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to remind you to always check the previous geocaching logs. If other geocachers have found this cache that you are struggling with, they may have left some sort of information in their log. It won't be forthright saying it is exactly here, hidden exactly this way, but they might mention something about their search that'll help you. Another thing to look for is photos attached to previous logs. Often geocachers will take a picture not of the cache, but from around the area of the cache. So look for that. There might be a tree with a unique shape that'll help you narrow down the search area. So tip number 2 is always check the previous logs. On the official app, you can find previous logs by making sure that you click on the cache, open that up, scroll down the page to look for past logs. Open that up and then read through them, looking for any hints or photos attached that might help you make that find. For tip number 3, remember that you need to be patient. I know, easy to say, hard to do when you're out there and you just want to find that geocache. But be patient, bring some friends, take your time, be thorough in your search, but while you're being thorough, please also be respectful of the natural habitat and area. Don't tear apart nurse stumps or old logs hoping that you'll find it buried, because geocaches are not supposed to be buried. You should not have to dig anything up. You should just have to maybe lift a piece of bark, move a small rock or some leaves, but you should not need to dig, bury, or really disrupt the natural area. So again, bring some friends. That's a good way to help with the patience. That might speed things up with some extra eyes, but most of all, take your time, be thorough, and be patient. For tip number 4, remember that geocaches are often disguised as something else. It may not look like the kind of container you think you're looking for, so your preconceived notions can throw you off at times. Always be aware of the different types of camo, fake rocks, wood debris glued on top of the container, various different ways and some super creative ways that geocachers will hide the geocaches to make them blend in with their natural surroundings. And sometimes not even natural surroundings, sometimes they'll blend into an urban setting with fake bolts or things like that. So you've always got to have your eyes open for things that might not seem like what they should be. And that is the perfect segue into tip number 5, brought to you by our great friends Cache Canada. Let's flip it over to Dave and Karen.
Oh look, we've been muggled.
It's Jay. He's invited us to be on his video to talk about geosenses.
Ooh. Oh yeah, it's about trusting your instincts when a geocache is hard to find. After geocaching for years, you develop a sense for when things feel out of place.
Like this one we found just a few days ago. Is it down there? See that little piece of bark there? Yeah, you can see it. It's got that telltale sign you can see from a distance.
Ha!
Yeah.
Found it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like walking through an area and finding out something's not quite right.
Yeah, there's little things that are dead giveaways once you've been out geocaching for a while.
One time we were hunting for a cache in Florida and we just had no idea where it could be.
But then we noticed this one bolt was just a little bit different.
And there was the cache.
Yeah, it's all about training your mind to pick up on what feels off.
It's those small details that others might miss.
Developing your geosenses definitely comes with experience.
It's about slowing down, observing carefully, and letting your geo instincts take over.
So get out there. You never know where geocaching will take you.
Wow, thanks Cache Canada. That was fantastic, and what a great tip to end with. Your geosenses. It takes time, so that goes back to patience. It takes the ability to know a few things, so that goes back to the other tips from Komikino and the kid and myself. So with all those things in mind, let's hope that you can get out there and find those tricky geocaches. Wishing you all the best luck, and if this was really helpful to you, please consider subscribing and joining our Patreon family. In the meantime, remember to cache safely and cache often.